All right. Okay, I think we can start. And before we do, maybe we'll do a photo with everyone because we need a new photo for the group. So maybe we'll do one of these. It's a better way to get everyone. Yeah, let's wait for Kurt. Okay. So while we wait for Kurt, I'll do the mandatory land acknowledgements that we need to do. First of all, big thanks to the sponsors. We've got RBC Capital Markets for letting us use this wonderful space. We still got the nice sauna, which is nice and warm. So get a cold beer because it's going to get very warm in here very fast. Also need to thank my employer, Hive. They've supplied the beer and the pizza. I hope. I haven't. I haven't submitted my expenses yet, and it might get kicked back, but we'll see. So yeah, we got some fun talks today. I'm going to be doing a talk. We've got Terry doing a first-time talk, and we're going to get Kevin closing it off. Since we're getting a few more people now, and these are getting a little larger, I'm thinking we might try a slightly different format for the talks too. If you guys saw the email I sent out this afternoon, got the new rules. We're going to keep our questions to ourselves until after the presentation. That way, hopefully we can get like the talks going a little quicker and flow through them a little faster, and then give everyone a chance to ask questions at the end. And hopefully we're not still doing presentations at 9:45 when people want to go home and sleep. So we'll give that a try. If it doesn't work, we'll go back to the old, rapid fire way. But if you guys could humor me for tonight, we'll try and hold talk or questions until the end of the talks. I think 20 minutes for a talk and then 5 to 10 for questions afterwards is perfectly fine. My talk is definitely not going to go 20 minutes. It's going to be maybe 5 tops. So I might as well get into it. But now the Kurt is back. We're going to do a photo. Kurt, we were waiting for you to do a new photo. You are that important. Nice. Thank you for humoring me. All right, so I'm running out of ideas for talks. And I've been glad to not do talks the last 2 meetups, but now we have no volunteers to do talks, so I got to pull something out. And my talk is about using Discord as a log aggregator. And I inspired, or more likely stole, this talk from a gentleman named Alexander Martinovich. He gave a very similar talk at the Vancouver Elixir meetup 2 months ago. I asked him if I could copy it. He said, go ahead. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm recycling someone else's material, but this is actually a pretty cool little library. So hopefully we can get something out of this. So what is a log aggregator? When I say log aggregator, does anyone here not know what I mean? Show of hands. Kurt, anyone? Not to single you out. Anyone else? Okay, so a log aggregator is a tool which aggregates or captures your logs. So have you heard of like Datadog? Datadog is a log aggregator. So it's a system or a tool which captures logs from your services. And you can normalize your logs, you can consolidate them, and a lot of these providers have some form of like search or organization or like fancy analytics capabilities that you can sort of run your logs through. So why do we use log aggregators? Well, they give us a real-time centralized place to monitor our applications. We can troubleshoot and debug production issues. We can search, filter, and sort and group our logs. We can visualize them. We can visualize trends, occurrences. So it's a really helpful tool for us to get sort of like an inside look at the heartbeat or the performance or some observability into what our applications are doing. So what log aggregators can we use? We've got things like Datadog, New Relic, Grafana, AWS CloudWatch, Sentry to some extent, and many more. This is a massively saturated market. There's tons of options you can choose from. So what is the common theme between all of these products? Does anyone know? Money. They are insanely expensive, especially for hobbyists. And this talk is geared towards us, hobbyists. So these tools are sort of geared towards software teams with power users, and they come with a lot of advanced features, and they're usually priced accordingly, like thousands of dollars a month. They require a lot of setup. A lot of features are just complete overkill for hobby purposes. and they are cost prohibitive. A lot of them have like a free plan or like a free tier, but you get like very limited functionality with it, and a lot of them just expire after a couple months and they start charging your credit card a lot of money. There's also other drawbacks on top of cost and complexity, and a lot of them have to do with data throughput and data retention. So a lot of them will retain your logs for 30 days. I think Datadog will hold it for like 90 days and then they just get rid of it. And a lot of them will place a rate limit or like a daily capacity on you as well, especially if you're on the free tier. Like if you send more than 100 messages a minute or like 500 a day, they're just going to shut you off for the day. So for a hobbyist, if we're trying to get some observability into our applications, we might need something a little more than that, and we don't really want to pay for it. So what options do we have? Well, I mean, Elixir comes with a wonderful built-in logger, and we want to get some value out of it. So what can we do? We can print them to the I/O or tee them off to a text file and like hope for the best, but you can't really aggregate that way. You can't really sort. You can't search easily. We can spend our paychecks servicing a Datadog account, or we can give AWS even more of our money for CloudWatch, but like I really don't want to do that. Or we can try to build something else ourselves, but then we take initiative and time away from our side projects onto something that like probably is going to suck. So let's see if we can find something else. We can find someone else's solution and use it for free. So this is where Discolog comes in. A member of the Elixir community, his GitHub handle is Mr.B. He has a great and most importantly free solution, which lets us use Discord as our log aggregator. So Discolog, kind of like every other Elixir package, it's just a package we can use, and we route our logger messages to a Discord server. The setup is super easy. It takes like quite literally 3 minutes, and you've got basically like 95% of the functionality of an actual log aggregator on your phone. So how does it stack up against traditional log aggregators? Well, we can search through our logs, right? In Discord, you can search messages, you can search by keywords, you can find your logs. You can send metadata as well. There's a slight drawback. They come through in the form of like JSON blobs. So it'll be like a text file attached to your message. So you can't really filter through your metadata, but you can get around that. We can organize our logs into different channels. And if we set different notification preferences for our channels, we can get alerted on our phone, which we have in our pocket if something's happening or going wrong with our application. And we can get push notifications for different log levels, right? If I don't care about warnings or infos and I only care about errors, well, I can set notifications on the errors channel. And every time something happens, it's right there. It's on my phone. And how does it beat traditional log aggregators? Well, it's free, which is wonderful. Indefinite log retention, I think. I don't think Discord deletes messages. I think it keeps them around forever, so we don't lose our messages. Setup takes less than 10 minutes, like 5 minutes tops. And there's no seat limit, right? You can invite as many people or friends or developers or contributors to your Discord server, and you don't have to pay extra for seat count. So as many people as you want to share your logs with, you can do that. And how does it lose out to traditional log aggregators? Because it's not better in every way. Well, we don't get some of the cool features like analytics, dashboards, or metrics, right? Discord is basically a chat platform. It doesn't have that, so we're not going to get it. But a lot of those things, like, if we're being honest, they're kind of overkill for hobby products anyway. And the search can be a little clunky, especially when it comes to searching by metadata tags. So like in Datadog, it's very easy to search by metadata. In Discord, not so much, especially if your metadata comes through as like a file attachment. You can't search that. So you have to maybe start putting metadata into the body of your log, which is not the best practice, but we can get away with it here if this is the tool that we're going to be using. So is it worth it? I mean, in my opinion, I think so. Absolutely. Like for a personal project or a hobby level application with a couple of users, for sure. You set it up in 5 minutes. You've got 90% of the functionality of a traditional log aggregator, and it's right here in your phone. You can watch it in real time. It's sweet. So how does it work? The setup is 4 steps. You add Discolog to your mixed dependencies, and then you install it. You create your own Discord server. You modify some of the server settings, and in the Discolog documentation, it tells you exactly what to do and how. You create a Discord bot, give it a few permissions, and then you create your Discolog channels. And you do that by filling out a config file. So it takes like literally 5 minutes, and you're done. So now we can do a little demo of how Discolog actually works. So I have got a very basic demo application, which is just like a bare bones Elixir project with disco log installed. So if I do mix disco log dot sample, disco log. If I do mix disco log dot sample and I go to my Discord server, it's going to run a sample of how it works. And here we go. I've got my infos. I raise the runtime exception. I go into error, and there it is, disco log error test. I can start the application and show you guys how it works. You know, if I do like logger.info, hello from Calgary Elixir. Oh, I need to require my logger. There, it shows up in my info channel. So it's right there, super easy setup. When it comes to the actual like configuration, once you've set up your Discord server, if you go into your dev config file, you just copy and paste like your tokens and some IDs, and like that's it. It's done. It's settled and ready to go. So it's super, super simple. Now on top of that, we've got some cool features that Disco Log comes with. Disco Log can give you presence monitoring, and you can use this as sort of a proxy to monitor the uptime of your application. You can use a Disco Log bot in your server, and if the bot is online, it means your application's up. If the bot is offline, it means your application's down. So you've got presence monitoring like that. There's a new feature where you can add actual GitHub links to your code if you throw a warning or an error, so you can just click it and go directly to the offending code in GitHub, which is kind of cool. And I think, this is unconfirmed, but I have a sneaky suspicion that you can set up custom channels on top of the defaults. So you can set up like messaging channels, and you can use this not as a log aggregator, but also like a messaging service. So like, let's say you've got like a game app and you've got some people, and every like 6 hours or something, you like drop a new adventure or something. You could use Disco Log and the bot to like let people in your Discord server know to go check it out. So it's a super cool tool for like $0 and 5 minutes worth of setup that gives you basically Datadog functionality for free. So that's it. There's my talk. Thank you very much.
Want to log to a file so that you don't have to worry about like the attached files aspect for Discord, and you could also just have two loggers going.
Oh, and just have one that like
one that
logs
just
one
going
place.
to a file.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then one that's going to
cool.
Discord. So basically, the Discord one would be like alerting you to something something's going down,
and the other one can just be like info.
Then you write it to a file and you
Gotcha.
can analyze it.
Yeah. Yeah, so in this one, you can like, you can do metadata, but it's kind of clunky. So if I go like, if I do this, it shows up, which is nice. And I can see what's in it, but like this is a file, so I can't actually go here and search for like another key.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of clunky, right? Nothing shows up, but like I've got this, I can download it, and I can see it. So if I wanted to do something like that, I would need to like serialize this to a string, and then put that into my message body, which is like not ideal, but
yeah,
it's fine.
Create a Discord bot that does that for you, and stick it into your application. That's about 4 months of work.
Yeah,
you'll never get your time
it takes your serialized JSON, deserializes it, and then formats it to Discord friendly. Yeah.
It's always better to do the cool stuff that sounds fun than to actually do anything that's accomplishable.
True, because it's way more fun. So the Elixir logger, it's a process that handles messages, and basically what this does is it sits on that and it takes the messages from the logger and then sends it to the Discord API.
So they've made a library for Elixir logger.
Yes.
If I'm using Python, they have another library for Python, or
I'm not sure. I don't think this guy's done anything for Python. But Python should have like a built-in logger, right? Someone who's a Python dev would know. Yeah, so if there's like a Python logger, like you can definitely like write a library that would do the same thing. All this is doing is it's taking the messages from Elixir's logger process and sending them to Discord's API with those IDs and those keys that you've selected.
Discord's API there is just their REST API, so it's simple.
Yeah, and as far as I know, they don't really rate limit anything, so you can just hammer this thing. You might get a very angry email at some point asking you to stop, but
I hope you try it.
but I don't yeah, let's.
One other question, Discord. Can you like export a bunch of your chats and stuff if you wanted to back up your logs? I'm not sure.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
could. Yeah, I wonder.
I find Discord much more generous than like Slack for the message history.
Yeah, because yeah, Slack, like the vanilla Slack, will delete your messages. I think after like 90 days or something.
10,000 messages for the servers.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas this, like, you can hammer it. Oops. Do I already have one running?
I think maybe for the searchability thing too. Like I wonder if, because Discord has like the code snippet and like the markdown for different languages. So I wonder if you could like type that into there, and then for searchability, I think you can search on markdown each thing.
So like format the message
Yeah.
basically before you send it. I mean that's very possible. So if we go to like the errors channel, for example, sorry, the occurrences channel. So this is one of the channels that it gives you by default, where it will throw like exceptions. I can search by like what's in this message. So I can go and search like Elixir .runtime error, and it will show me the messages that match it. So yeah, you could probably do that, just like format it into some nice like markdown and then search by that. See what happens.
What's your Discord name? You really want 10,000?
Not really, to be honest, but for the sake of science. We'll just let it run while Terry does his talk, and then we'll see what happens. So.
I think tomorrow's the day you get the email.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You've been banned from Discord.
I can on Discord and not rate limiting the API.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, any other questions? Cool. Thank you. So yeah, that's me, and Terry's up next.